Scorpio, the moment you read the title of this video, something inside you stirred, didn't it? A face, a memory, a strange moment in your home, or a recent shock flashed through your mind before you could even explain why. That is not random. Your spirit recognized this frequency before your mind could catch up. You didn't land here by accident. You were magnetized here because a part of you already knows that in your home, in your space, something mysterious is preparing to unfold right after a November moment that shakes you awake. Not to punish you, not to curse you, but to move you into alignment with a life your soul has been quietly praying for. As this November continues to unfold, the energy around Scorpio is not subtle. It is electric, almost like static in the air before a storm. You may already feel it in small ways. The tension before a conversation, an unexpected bill, a sudden change of plans, a phone call that changes the tone of your day, a message that arrives at a time that feels too perfectly timed to be coincidence. This shocking event does not have to be dramatic in the eyes of the world. It can be as simple as a truth you can no longer avoid, a decision someone else makes that affects you, or an internal realization that lands in your chest like thunder. Whatever it is, it jolts you out of autopilot and forces you to look at your life and your home with new eyes. Your home, Scorpio, is not just a roof above you. It is a living extension of your energy field. Every corner holds a story. Every object holds a vibration. Every room remembers a version of you that once walked through it. The place where you sleep, eat, cry, work, scroll, and dream is more than physical. It becomes a container for emotions that never had words, for hopes you didn't know how to voice, for grief that had nowhere else to go. When the universe wants to show a Scorpio that a new chapter is beginning, it does not always send an obvious sign in the sky. Sometimes it starts with the walls, the lights, the floor, the sounds in the night, or a pattern that keeps repeating in your space. Recently you may have noticed little disturbances that felt off, but you brushed them aside. A picture frame crooked every time you walk past it, a light that flickers and then works again, an object that you were sure you left in one place but found somewhere else, a certain room that suddenly feels heavier or colder than usual. You might have told yourself it's nothing because you didn't want to be dramatic. But your intuition, the one that lives behind your eyes and under your ribs, did not forget. It bookmarked those moments and quietly whispered, "Pay attention." Your sign is famous for sensing what others miss. Where others see a coincidence, you feel a pattern. Where others shrug, you listen, and right now that sensitivity is not a burden, it is a compass. This November, the spiritual climate around Scorpio is like a hidden tide turning beneath the surface. The shocking event that appears in your life, whether emotional, financial, relational, or practical, is like a key turning in an old lock. It exposes where your foundation has cracked. Maybe it's a sudden expense that forces you to confront your relationship with money. Maybe it's a tense conversation at home that brings up old wounds. Maybe it's a medical call, a job shift, a family revelation, or a truth about someone's intentions that you can no longer unsee. In the moment, it may feel harsh, unfair, or destabilizing. But spiritually, it is a pressure point the universe presses to reveal where your life has outgrown its current structure. After that moment, after the shock, the news, the realization, something mysterious begins to move in your home. Not in a horror movie way, but in a sacred, coded way. You may notice that when you sit in a certain chair or room, your thoughts become clearer. You might find an old journal, a letter, or an item you had forgotten that suddenly carries new meaning. You might rearrange furniture without knowing why, throw out things you used to cling to, or feel a powerful urge to clean one specific corner that has been neglected for years. The mystery is not a ghost. It is your higher self rearranging the stage of your life, so the next act can actually begin. Scorpio, your sign holds the energy of death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, shadow and revelation. You are not here to live a flat, surface-level existence. You are here to transform the spaces you touch. That includes your home. When energy becomes stagnant, when objects hold grief that has expired, when memories cling to the curtains and carpets, the universe will gently shake the container. The shocking event is like a spiritual earthquake that cracks the old shell. And what unfolds in your home afterward is the sprouting of a new timeline. You may start to feel called to create little altars, a candle on a shelf, a plant in a bare corner, a cup of water on your nightstand as a quiet offering. You may find yourself talking out loud in your home, blessing it, asking for protection, thanking it for sheltering you through seasons of chaos. These aren't random impulses. They are rituals your soul remembers. Look at the objects that call your attention right now. The box under your bed you never open, the clothes in your closet from a version of you that no longer exists, the gifts from people you no longer speak to, the photographs that freeze you in a time your heart has already moved beyond. Each item carries a thread. Some of those threads still nourish you, others quietly pull you backward. After the November shock, your sense of what belongs and what doesn't will sharpen. You may feel a sudden clarity. This needs to go. This needs to stay. This needs to be cleansed. Trust that. When you move things physically, you move things spiritually. When you release something from your home, you give your future more space to breathe. You may also sense that your dreams become more vivid around this time. Pay attention to the dreams where you are in houses, corridors, rooms, staircases. Often, the home in your dream is a reflection of your inner world. A broken door, a cluttered room, a flooded basement, a bright, clean kitchen. These are not just images, they are messages. Keep a notebook by your bed. Even if you write only a few words, water in hallway, guest in my house and strange light in living room, you begin a conversation with your own soul. In your waking life, the signs may echo. A neighbor you rarely see suddenly speaks to you. A family member shows up with news. An old piece of furniture breaks and has to be replaced. A child says something that lands in your chest like prophecy. Together, these small signs form a web of confirmation. Something is shifting. Scorpio, the shocking event this month is not meant to leave you in fear. It is meant to give you focus. For some, it will be a wake-up call around boundaries at home. For others, a moment of truth around finances or shared resources. For others still, a reveal of tension that has been living unspoken within the walls for too long. But what unfolds afterward, the mystery in your home, is deeply personal. It might look like unexpected money arriving that helps you fix or reshape your space. It might look like someone moving out or someone new arriving. It might look like you finally claiming a room or a corner for yourself, turning it into a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. It might even be as gentle as light falling differently through a window that suddenly makes you feel, I am safe. I am held. You are being asked to stop relating to your home as a place you just live in and start relating to it as a partner in your spiritual journey. If the walls could speak, what would they say about the arguments, the tears, the laughter, the silence they've witnessed? If the floor could talk, what steps would it remember? Who walked in, who left, who stayed a little too long? You've been through seasons where your home felt like a refuge and seasons where it felt like a cage. This November, it is being invited to become something else, an altar, a space where your energy is honored, where your past is acknowledged but not worshipped, where your future has enough room to arrive. If this message is resonating, take a second right now, even as you listen, to look around the room you're in. Pick one thing that doesn't feel like it belongs in your next chapter. You don't have to throw it away yet. Just notice it. Whisper internally, your assignment in my life is changing. That simple act of awareness is like opening a window in a stuffy room. It lets spiritual oxygen in. Then when the November shock arrives, or if it has already brushed your life in some way, You will recognize it not only as something that happened to you, but as something that happened for you. A sacred interruption that unlocked the next instruction. Rearrange, release, renew. You might feel alone at times in this process, especially if the people who share your home don't understand what you feel. They may say, "You're overreacting, it's just the house settling," or "You're reading too much into that bill, that break, that conversation." But your body knows better. Your nervous system responds when energy is off. Your spirit registers when the unseen is moving. You are not required to convince anyone of what you sense. You are only being asked to honor it. You can quietly cleanse your home with intention, with prayer, with sound, with breath, even if nobody else believes in that language. The universe understands, your guides understand, the energy in your walls understands. If you feel called, write in the comments, "I open my home to aligned energy only." Let that sentence become a spell, a boundary, a declaration that the next mysterious thing that unfolds in your space must be in harmony with your healing, not against it. This does not mean life will become perfect or painless, but it does mean you are stepping into a more conscious agreement with what you allow to anchor in your environment. You've hosted chaos before. You've entertained people who drained you, held onto objects that carried weight instead of warmth, tolerated atmospheres that left you exhausted. You don't have to keep repeating that. You can decide that this November, this month of shifts, shocks, and sacred invitations, is the turning point where your home and your heart begin to match. And now, Scorpio, as we come toward the end of this message, let this part settle deep in your spirit. What is coming to your home is not just a thing, a person, or an event. It is a feeling of alignment, of "this finally makes sense," of "now I understand why it had to happen that way." It might arrive as a letter, a key, a conversation, an opportunity, a symbolic object, or even a moment of quiet knowing. But underneath all the forms, it is the universe answering prayers you whispered on nights when you thought no one was listening. You are not being teased with signs just to be abandoned. You are being prepared, softened, and positioned. This narrative is not a guarantee of a specific outcome, but a mirror for your intuition, a way of putting into words what your spirit has already been sensing in the background. Think of it as a story woven from patterns many Scorpio souls are walking through right now, a kind of spiritual thought experiment for the heart. If these words awaken a recognition in you, take what supports your growth and leave what doesn't. Let the parts that feel true rest gently in your chest, and let the rest drift away like a cloud passing over your roof. The power has never been in the prediction itself, but in how it reminds you of the strength, discernment, and creative authority you already carry inside your own walls. Whether the shock arrives tomorrow or weeks from now, whether the mystery appears as a whisper or a wave, remember, your home is not just where you live. It is where your next miracle is learning how to find you.